Calaroga Shark Media.
Hey there, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Just looking ahead all week, including Thanksgiving and the holiday weekend, normal episodes. There's just so much news going on. I didn't have to do like holiday filler or Adam Sandler's 15 worst movies, anything like that. All normal, regular media episodes. Among the things I haven't been able to tell you about, Ricky Gervais, his next stand-up special will be on Netflix December 30th. Now, Johnny Mac's not happy with that release date because I like to do the top 25 specials of the year list, and if you wait till December 30th, it's not going to be on it. I got to hand in the homework I got to make the shows, I got to hand the stuff in for my Substack and for the publicist. I can't wait till December 30th. Anyway, it's called Mortality. It's the hour Ricky Gervais has been touring since 2024, filmed earlier this year at the London Palladium. It's his fourth stand-up special. The lazy Netflix copywriter promises no topic is off limits, yawn, as Ricky closes out the year with his best show yet. The official logline is a little better written. It says Gervais takes on his own mortality in a brutally honest and darkly funny stand-up special about his life, death, and the state of the world. Ricky said, I think Mortality is my most honest and confessional show so far and also my favorite tour. I still can't believe what a privilege it is to fly around the world making people laugh. Now, that news made me realize at some point I had this Tom Segura story in my little notebook here that I work with for the show, and it got dropped, and I don't know what happened to it, because I don't think I've told you that Tom Segura Teacher will be out on Netflix December 24th. Yeah, Tom Segura's got a new special, and it's called Teacher. And, as I told you, it'll be out December 24th. Also, not good for year-end lists or publicists or homework or Substacks. Deadline says no word yet on what Segura covers in the hour. It's his fifth special for Netflix. Nate Bargatze, I still think he's out of his mind. He was at the International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions Industry Conference, the IAAPA Expo. Nate showed up at this thing and announced that his company is partnering with Storyland Studios, a SoCal-based themed entertainment architecture and design firm. Together, they will explore the concept and feasibility of a Nate Bargatze theme park in Nashville. I'm telling you. If I'm still doing this podcast in 10 years, I'm going to one day, for holiday filler, be like, remember that time Nate Bargatze was going to open a theme park? Whatever happened to that? I mean, just do a bourbon or something. This is crazy. The feasibility study is set to be completed in the first quarter of 2026. If all goes well, they'll have a shovel in the ground in 5 to 6 years. I don't know anything about amusement parks. But the word boondoggle just went into my brain. I don't know what to do with the word boondoggle. I don't know what kind of sentence to use the word boondoggle in. Maybe it has nothing to do with this story at all, but the word boondoggle did pop into my brain. Here's the plan. They want to build a 100-plus acre amusement park. Now, I'm from New York City. I have no idea how big an acre is. It sounds pretty big, and 100 of them sound huge, but I don't know. I'm a city boy. The amusement park will include amenities like retail, dining, and even a hotel. At Nateland, the project is being handled by the Experiences Division, which is also responsible for such things as a Nateland-themed cruise setting sail via Norwegian Cruise Line early next year. Hey, you want to go on the themed cruise? Dusty Slay's going to be there. I don't know for a fact Dusty's going to be there. I'm doing a bit. I don't even know that Nate's going to be there. I'm finding this out as you do. You think I pre-read these stories? What are you, crazy? Anyway, you want to go on the Nateland cruise? That sounds fun. Other divisions at Nateland are focused on stand-up, movies, TV, merch, and an incubation lab for new talent. I look forward to the opening of Nateland many years from now. John Mulaney was in Texas. While in town, Mulaney did a one-on-one with Austin-based filmmaker Noah Hawley. You may know him from such things as Fargo, Legion, and Alien Earth. Mulaney said, the satisfaction of being on stage in Austin, the audience can see me, but I'm not blown up on the screen. And I'm getting a laugh with the slightest shrug. That's a really powerful feeling. The festival mainly focuses on politics. One attendee asked John Mulaney, why are you here? Now, I'm picturing the attendee as Khan and the attendee going, now tell me, why are you here? Did you watch Star Trek II? Great film. Mulaney said, when in a city, I like to see as many sides of it and take part in as much of it as I can. I was very lucky that this was happening at the same time. The half-ass Mulaney's coming along. I'm working on it. Again, the key to it is you have to do the Fred Schneider. It's as big as a whale, and that's how you get into your half-ass Mulaney. I'm slightly zoning in on it. So you got the Schneiderism, and then I realize Mulaney over-enunciates. Working on it. Again, not an impression. It's a half-ass impression. The discussion went to Mulaney's recent appearance at the Supreme Court hearings on November 5th. Mulaney recalled that Justice Alito seemed to get bored of his own hypotheticals, and Justice Thomas looks like he struggles to stay awake. Mulaney said, they seem to get along with each other in a way you might not think. There was a lot of collegiality. If you and 9 coworkers had to sit on a panel, you'd eventually lean over and do jokes to each other. Talked about the Austin comedy scene, saying a lot of comedians were moving to Austin, Texas, and made it seem like this big move. I was like, Austin's a huge city. Go to Galveston. I like my houses like I like my chimpanzees, on stilts. Then Mulaney was asked, will AI ever be funnier than a comedian? Mulaney said, AI will never shrug, and the shrug is the highest form of intelligence. Mulaney also spoke with the Texas Standard. They were curious, what's your takeaway of Texas? Mulaney said, I think of Texas as this father with like a bunch of different sons that are his cities. And, you know, Dallas is trying to do everything right and run the family business and is responsible with money. And Houston does a good job, but it's just boring as hell. Austin is more like the more emo kid at the end of the table. It's like, what did you do today, Austin? He's like, I colored. A sort of artistic libertarian son at the end of the table that does whatever he wants. As for San Antonio, I love San Antonio. San Antonio is like the kid that just is always fine but doesn't visit a lot. On your TV tonight, it is the 30th anniversary celebration of Everybody Loves Raymond. Are you feeling old yet? Yeah. CBS, 8 o'clock. Now you might be like, CBS, aren't those the guys that eliminated the Late Show? If I watch this thing, am I supporting fascism? That's a great question. I'm going to say no, because as you know, Colbert was canceled over budget reasons. It had nothing to do with fascism or anti-fascism or pseudo-fascism. It was all about budget. So I'm going to tell you, you're okay if you want to watch this thing tonight, okay? Just if you're watching Scrubs, go get the DVDs. Don't push that Hulu button on the Roku. You got to stand strong. Support Jimmy Kimmel. But Colbert, that was all budget. You can watch the Raymond special. It will feature appearances from Ray Romano. I would hope so. You know, you don't want to do this thing without Ray. Brad Garrett, Patricia Heaton, and the others. It will include a tribute to late cast members Doris Roberts and Peter Boyle, who played the parents. Series creator Phil Rosenthal and Ray Romano sat down with TV Line. Phil said, I've been trying to get this done for 10 years. Ray said he told me about it, and I said, I'm game. Then he took it to CBS, and Phil says, I'd see other shows doing reunions and think we have funny stories and we have nice remembrance. We want to do it. Ray said people were asking about reboots. We agreed we would never do a reboot. So we'll do a reunion. We like reunions, but 10 years ago, CBS wasn't into it. 5 years ago, they weren't into it. This year, new people are there and they were into it. So here we go. TV Line points out, hey, this is being billed as the 30th anniversary. The show premiered in 1996. Technically, this is your 29th anniversary. What's the story there? Phil's like, it's technically the 30th anniversary since the show got going. We filmed the pilot in the spring of 96. We were on the air in fall of 96, but Ray and I met in 95, right? For the special, they recreated the living room set. How does it feel being on that set again? Ray said, first of all, the work they did to rebuild it was amazing. The only thing that was original was the couch, which I took home with me in 2005 and gave it back to them for the special. I love that Ray Romano had the couch for 20 years. That's amazing. You couldn't tell the difference. If you told me this was the exact set, I'd believe it. It was emotional. I'll say that. Ray recently rewatched all 9 seasons, he told TV Line. What struck me the most was the acting. I mean, I knew it was good back then, but now I wasn't as critical. I'm not saying I didn't remember every show. I did, but I remember what was going to happen next, and I saw little things that I appreciated more, the nuances of each actor, how good they were. I think I just appreciated them, the cast and the writing, more. Back then, it was hard for me not to be critical of myself. What's funny is I'd see myself without a shirt on in an episode then and be like, what the hell am I doing? What am I doing showing this to the world? When I watch it now, it's like, oh, I was in shape back then. Good question from TV Lines. Sitcoms often juggle A, B, and C storylines. Raymond was always focused on one. Was that a rule? Phil said, yes. I thought if a story's worth telling, it's worth telling for the 21 minutes we have. Ray said, yeah, but we didn't purposely say we can't do that because that's a B story. It wasn't the dynamic of the world we were in. Patton Oswalt was on the Last Laugh podcast. They started talking about Kimmelgate and the video Patton had shared from the airport. I had played that in one of the bonus episodes. You know, what was the deal with that? Patton Oswalt, who said, well, it was one of those moments when what was being done was so blatant and so petty, and it was just such an absolute misuse of power. And I wanted to get something out there. Not that I have any kind of massive platform or sway on culture, but I could already fast forward to the way the pro-Trump people were going to start to try and rationalize this. There's now a scary legion of people out there whose job is to make the abnormal seem normal and reasonable. This from the guy who played Doug the Vulcan. All right, Patton? You want to talk about making something abnormal seem normal? You played Doug the Vulcan. As a Trekkie, I'm still furious about this. You can hear the rage coming out during this podcast. Patton said, all you people that keep saying Trump is bringing America back, whatever he's bringing back, it's not America. He's bringing back 1230, Patton Oswalt. The president and I are aligned. Make 1230 great again. Let's get back to the golden age of Letterman and Conan and even Craig Ferguson. We need better 1230 shows. Patton Oswalt said, but I think from the beginning of time, there's this overall mediocrity that wants a foothold in life, and it hates excellence. Oh, you're teeing yourself up here, Patton. And it hates people that actually craft their job and care about their job. They just want loud, sloppy spectacle. For example, the musical episode of Strange New Worlds, the Star Trek series on which you played Doug the Vulcan, like that kind of nonsense, not going for greatness. Yeah, that, Patton said, and it'll ebb and flow and it'll flare up and it'll die down. Right now, we're looking at a massive flare up. We've got to be better about calling that stuff out when it's happening. Yes, say somebody plays a crappy character on Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Call that actor out and tell him, no, you are destroying Star Trek. Patton said, it's very tempting to think there's this big, loud, frightening guy. If you're just nice to him and do what he says, he'll make your life comfortable. Now, luckily for us, in this case, Trump doesn't even know how to make his worshippers' lives comfortable. This does feel like a bad virus, a bad flu, some kind of bacterial infection that we just have to ride out. Then he used some language that I think doesn't translate well. I'm not going to read it. I don't want to visit from men in sunglasses. I'm aligned with the president. Make 1230 great again, okay? You calm down, Doug the Vulcan. Daniel Tosh was on his podcast announcing tour dates for next year. He got to Toledo and said Toledo is a gem, and then compared it to Tacoma, Washington by saying, why do you guys live here when there's other great cities nearby? That's how I feel about Toledo. The other great cities are just slightly less crappy. Tosh continued, Toledo's bad. You know it's bad, Toledo, and I'm not going to sit here and act like it's a great city. I want you to come out and support me, okay? But the city's bad. Tosh clarified, the people could be fine. I'm talking about the city itself. Bad. Jim Gaffigan told people that he has lost 50 pounds now with the help of Manjaro, a drug used to treat type 2 diabetes. Jim told people, I feel good. I'm just grateful because it's a better life. Gaffigan said he had gotten up to 270 pounds. Jim said, I had very low expectations because I did know someone that had tried it and they were like, oh, I was nauseous for a week. And then I thought my true joy of eating would overpower anything. And that is your comedy news for today. I'll see you tomorrow.